SuperTalk Mississippi media production.
Roll pre-record on my count. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Roll A, fade up on A.
Southern Miss to the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
All right, here we go. Super Talk Eagle Hour's on the air. We're glad you're with us. Bob, Kelly, Dima. We're all here in kind of rainy Oak Grove, Mississippi, here in the Southern Bancorp studio.
Hopefully that's the only way we'll be able to describe the weather this weekend here.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking for anything except cold rain.
I hope not. I hope you're right about that.
The Facebook pundits don't believe that.
The panic has already set in.
My gosh.
Although there's still pallets of water out here in front of Corner Market for the rush.
Yeah, when I saw that, I thought, are we under attack? I mean, what? Hey, we got a good show for you today. We're going to hear later in the program from Tucker Stockman. We're going to talk a little basketball with you. Both teams in action later tonight. Opening segment of the show, of course, sponsored every day by Dickey's Barbecue, and we're grateful for all they do. Natalie Poole is the softball coach at Southern Miss. She's a frequent guest on our show. We always enjoy our conversations with Coach about her team, and they kick it off February 6th. It's here, guys.
Yeah.
Great tournament, too. Louisiana Tech, UAB, Lipscomb, and Southeast Louisiana, all here in Hattiesburg. What a way to start the softball season. Coach, this should be a great treat for fans to kick off the season with these types of teams here in town.
Yeah, we definitely are excited to, one, open up at home, but also to be able to play a good weekend with some good softball and with some varying teams, teams that we don't always see every day but can be fairly regional for us. And then also inclusive of that is Louisiana Tech, who we anticipate to come into the Sun Belt. And so it just gives us a chance to be able to play some good ones.
All right, Coach, you go ahead and break the news for us. When is Louisiana Tech coming into the Sun Belt?
Hey, listen, I don't know. I do know that at this point that there is a plan for them too, but I asked for confirmation here just probably about a week ago from our conference office about scheduling for the next 2 years, because we usually do our schedules 2 years out with regards to conference scheduling, and so by now typically we would have that schedule. We do not at this point, and they are the ones that provide it, and they said that at this point they're waiting to know the timeline of parting ways with Conference USA, and so they did not have a definitive answer. So I don't have one here today to be able to break it to the community, but we are anticipating the move for sure.
I think the same people who are in charge of the road construction at Evelyn Gandy are the ones working on the Louisiana Tech thing. But Coach, I guess, I guess, Coach, could you just preview your team a little bit? I mean, maybe some attrition from last season. I mean, just looking at the roster, it looks like a pretty young team you're going to be putting on the diamond this year.
We actually are. We have 11 freshmen and we have 10 sophomores. Yeah. So 21 of our 28 players are underclassmen, and although a few of those girls that are sophomores did some good things for us last year, Kayla Giardina did some good things on the mound for us as a freshman, and she's returning. And then two of our outfielders, and Hannah Christian and Carrie Green, are returning as well, that were both freshmen this past year. We're very useful when it comes to seniors. We've got two seniors in Natalie Harrington, who is a local pedal celebrity, I would say, in some ways. She won a 6A state championship here and went on to play at Pearl River for a couple of years and has been with us. This will be her second year with us, and so she's a senior. And then also Paris Ferguson, who's really kind of seen time all around the infield for us. She's from Texas, and she's a senior this year as well. And we've got a few juniors, but more heavy laden in the freshman and sophomore area. And super excited about the talent level and sort of their grit and all that. And so the youth is what I think we could blame some things on if things don't go well, but I do think that these girls, even though they're young, could do some special things.
And although Coach Poole cannot guarantee when Louisiana Tech is coming into the league, she has guaranteed us that we will gut Louisiana Tech like a fish when they come in here a week from Saturday. Right? No, I'm just.
Yeah, gotcha.
Coach, I want to ask you about the transfer portal and roster mobility in the game of collegiate softball. Are we seeing the wholesale changes like you see in basketball or football, or like Southern Miss baseball, are things a little bit more stable in the game of softball college-wide?
Not really. I think in some ways we're following suit with some of the other sports that have kind of led the way in that area. However, here at Southern Miss, I think that we've, kind of just doing our best to try to continue to recruit young kids that we can get in, that can be athletic and that can offer some things, and we can develop really quickly to get them on board to doing some special things. And we haven't necessarily always had an advantage with the people that have come in through a transfer situation, haven't always panned out. Again, there's just a new philosophy, it's a new team, it's a new situation, and so it can't always be easy for that person either. And so we want to try to get kids in here who we know have wanted to be here. We took our time to recruit. And then if we need to fill any gaps, then we're going to do it through the portal if we need to, or a JUCO option as well.
So as young as your club is going to be this year, what are realistic expectations for this squad, not only individual team goals, but the way the way you perceive the conference will shake out?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, for us, we were very close in a lot of ways, a lot closer than we have been. I want to say that we might have been like 3 wins from probably being like in the top third of our conference. And so for us, there's a lot of teams like right in the middle, and we're all really just beating each other up. And so clearly we want to be at the top of the conference. Our goal is for that, and we've had to do some things. We've got to do some things to make that happen. And, that's our job. Our job is to get up there, to climb and all that. And so we've got some really good goals set for that. Is it going to be easy? It's not going to be easy. We know that. But it's what we want and it's what we're working for. And we do have a good group that's geared and thoughtful in the process of wanting these things to happen as well, and are working accordingly.
Now, I know Texas State has always been really good, but of course the Bobcats will be leaving the Sun Belt. Yeah. But other than Texas State, who look to be like some of the teams that are going to be maybe in those top 1 or 2 slots?
Yeah. Coastal had a really stellar year last year, although, pitching, they're always just a really good hitting team. And the only thing that they had really been missing was pitching. And they actually didn't go out to find that. It was a girl that really had not had the best career overall there. And then all of a sudden, in between her junior and senior year, she just kind of stepped it up, and they rode her arm a good bit during the season, and she helped them last year win the tournament and go on to regionals, and they had a great year. And so I suspect that they'll still have some good hitting, and maybe somebody else will be in the place of, and kind of help that. But I always expect them to be doing pretty well. UL has always had good softball too. JMU shows up and they do really well also, and Troy's always in the hunt as well. South Al had a little bit of a down year last year. I don't imagine they'll hang down there too much though, but we had some good weekends with some of those teams. We just couldn't hold on. We were close, and in the last couple series we just didn't quite go across the finish line very well.
Coach, the era of dominance from Louisiana softball, that over now?
Yes, I believe that it's over. I do think that they're going to be able to recruit there competitively because of their history, their legacy, in that program and all the things that they've accomplished. And they still can find some really great athletes. I really believe that. But I think some things are they're going to find that it's not going to be as dominant as it was before. I believe that they'll be a little bit more like everybody else, fighting and and things like that. But I do think that they have some good athletes, and I think that they can get them because of that.
Last season, I remember the schedule came out, and it was just, riddled with, the Penn State, LSU, if I remember correctly, Jackson State, which is traditionally pretty good, Arkansas. There was a lot of great teams on that schedule last year. I would say this year a little bit more favorable schedule for you guys, especially in the non-conference.
Honestly, even last year, like, we wanted to play a tough preseason, but it ended up not in our favor in a lot of ways. Like, we played Kentucky right out of the bat.
Nebraska.
We Nebraska that first game. I mean, just some really good teams to start, and then we played Arkansas twice when we were at Louisiana Tech, and we weren't expecting that. We had only wanted to play them one time. We landed LSU. We get 2 games with them when nobody else played them 2 games. I mean, like, just some things where when we were on the road and we were not anticipating having to necessarily, like, we didn't mind playing them, but we didn't want to have to play them more than once, and it just didn't turn out in our favor. We also, of course, played Mississippi State and Ole Miss, who both had great years last year, and we were able to beat Ole Miss, which was great. But it was really, really tough preseason, and I was a bit concerned at some point that it might have been too hard to the point where, like, I could have broken some confidence in some girls. However, I do think that it was good for us in some ways because I feel like we were pretty tough to start in conference play. We didn't maintain it, but we did do pretty well. So I was proud that it didn't break them in a lot of ways. So I do think that we have a little bit more favorable preseason, of course, this year. We do play Mississippi State the second week out. We'll play Ole Miss, and we'll play a few other teams, but nothing that's sort of what we saw the gauntlet basically of last year.
All right, Coach, out of time, unfortunately, but thank you very much. We'll have you back soon.
Thank you so much.
Natalie Poole, everybody. Eagle Hour continues.
Big news from Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel. We've moved. You'll now find us directly behind our old building, right by Sawmill Animal Hospital. We're still your trusted electrical distributor, carrying everything from conduit to tape. And don't forget our full line of Milwaukee tools. Whether you're a contractor or a DIY pro, stop by the new Robinson Electric Supply at 1222 West 6th Street and see what's lighting up Laurel. Robinson Electric Supply. New location, same trusted service.
The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
All right, our thanks to softball coach Natalie Poole for joining us. Sounds like a young team, but Dima, you were pointing out that the schedule's much more favorable than last year.
Like I was trying to say at the end, they were playing like Nebraska, Penn State, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. They played LSU a couple times. Arkansas. Like, they were playing ridiculous teams beginning of that season. And looking at their schedule, Jackson State, Chattanooga, Alcorn State, Brown, North Florida, Jacksonville, Presbyterian, Southeastern Louisiana. I think those are good tune-up games before conference play where, there's good things about scheduling tough. I think it's better if you have a veteran team, right, who's already been through the fire.
Yeah.
When you got a young team, you need to start building some confidence. Not saying they're going to win every single one of those games, but if they could win 70% of them, instead of winning 30% of them, it builds confidence. We saw that with soccer a little bit, I thought.
I think there's a balancing act. I think Coach kind of spoke to that. Dean was right. The competition is good, but too much of that, if you're not ready for it, and by the time you start playing teams like your own team, your kids are just devoid of confidence.
And then you're sitting there at 6-14 or something, right?
And I think that confidence is really underestimated by a lot of people. Confidence, if you go into a game really thinking in your heart that you can win, that means a lot.
And I'll tell you a team who needs a lot of confidence right now, and that's Southern Miss men's basketball. They're on the road tonight in Atlanta against Georgia State. 2.5-point favorites. The Panthers are against the Golden Eagles. So,
well, we talked yesterday to their play-by-play guy. They're a different team at home, the Panthers being, than they are on the road, right?
Yeah, but they have won 3 on the road. Now, one of them was against Louisiana Monroe, and we're going to talk about the Southern Miss game here in a second. But you guys, I got to ask the question, what's going on at Louisiana Monroe?
What was the final score today?
They played a day game. They just finished. They played Marshall today, and Louisiana Monroe got beat 115-60. A men's basketball game where you're beaten 55 points. The basketball team is a train wreck. The football team, although they battled Southern Miss for a little while, that's becoming a dumpster fire. The athletic director left in the middle of football season, so the head football coach was having to double dip as athletic director and head football coach. They fired their baseball coach last year, of course, who was an assistant.
A good baseball coach.
Yeah, Coach Federico was
one of the best ever.
Yeah, the best baseball coach they've ever had, at least in the modern era. I just don't know what's going on over there.
Well,
in Monroe. They got
here's what
problems.
I
Could
tell
Kurt Cignetti win a Sun Belt championship at ULM?
I don't think so.
They're that bad.
No. Here's what I think's wrong. Well, LSU sucks all the oxygen out of the air. Then you got Louisiana Lafayette, which is a pretty strong, athletic department now. You got Louisiana Tech, which is a competitive program.
And a stone's throw from Monroe.
Tulane. I mean, it's tough, man. That's tough.
And Monroe as a city sucks.
But
I'm sorry.
Okay.
But it's,
I've been up there a couple times to cover some games. That is the worst trip out of all the Sun Belt schools I've been to so far.
well, I know one of the things that they've debated is really do they want to continue to play Division 1A? I know that there's been some discussions of maybe going down to a lower level. I don't know, but something I've never seen a program in such disarray like it is in Monroe right now.
I didn't realize this was going to turn into the roast ULM segment.
Yeah, let's get back. Let's get back to USM. Georgia State in Atlanta, another tough road game. We talked yesterday about how difficult it is to win on the road, but Dima, they got to start knocking down about half of these road games and win at home.
When we saw that 4-game road swing, we really thought best case scenario would come out of that 2-2, right? We thought at Troy was going to be tough, and so that they weren't able to get it done there. They battled hard at Texas State, couldn't get it done there. So they really need to win these next 2 games, and these are winnable games against Georgia State and Coastal on Saturday. Both winnable games. I feel like you need to at least get tonight's game. Try to get some confidence back. Not to mention on the light of the news of that indictment, already putting a kind of like the dark cloud over the basketball, place, basketball arena, basketball team right now. You need to get some win to get some positives back going. You had that indictment. You lost 2 and 3 in a row. I mean, it's just kind of like,
Well, they've gone cold from the 3-point line. Yeah. They just have not been. And look, I hate the way that basketball has. One of the things I love about baseball is it has never changed. Really, I mean the rules. But now it seems like college basketball. It's all about the 3-point shot.
Yeah.
It's all about the 3-point shot. And when you compare,
kind of like the NBA.
And the women's game. Women's game always used to be at the, just below the rim, at the rim, but now they're even a 3-point shot game. And Southern Miss just has not had the firepower.
All right, great lead-in. Women are at home tonight. It's 5 o'clock. Not a really good matchup, I think, with Marshall here. Dima, Marshall's a pretty good women's basketball team, but the Golden Eagles they're an improved team, and they've been good at home. This should be quite a good matchup.
Yeah, it really should. This is going to be a big game for the women at home. Marshall, of course, 15-5 on the season in women's basketball, which they sit second in conference right now, or third in conference behind Arkansas State and Troy. Both have beaten Southern Miss, and so Southern Miss at 4-3. They're kind of back on the pack at fifth, but a win here would jump them up to third. So it would be a big win for them if they could get it done tonight. And then Saturday, the women also are at home again, and they're going to play Coastal here at home. So these are 2 big games for the women. If they could get both of them, they'd be in pretty good shape for the rest of the way.
And let me point out, I think I just saw an email from Jack Duggan. I believe that game Saturday's been moved to 12 noon because of travel situations involving Coastal. Here, I'm going to pull it up right here.
Yeah, potential weather, of course, not in our area, but if they have to come across the 20 or any of those.
Sorry. Well, doors will open at 11. The game will be at 12 noon, yes. And that's because of travel considerations for Coastal. I'm sure they want to get those kids back to
For sure.
And you can get your water here at Corner Market behind us.
Yeah, there's plenty left.
There's a little back there, isn't there?
And this win, if the Lady Eagles can get this win against Marshall tonight, that's like taking another one from the field because there's not going to be a lot of teams that beat Marshall.
All right,
it's going to be hard.
Let me quiz you 2 guys. So we're what, 60% through the basketball season? Maybe?
About 10.
Huh?
10%.
10%. Yeah. Give them a grade. A to F men's. Dima first.
Ooh, I don't want to go first. B-. Right. I would say. I mean, it's clear improvement. That's for sure.
I agree.
I would like to see a little bit more wins in conference right now. I think they left 2 that they should have gotten. Arkansas State at home and that Texas State game on the road. They should have gotten both of those games. But as far as like overall improvement, I would say pretty good.
And women?
Women, I'd probably give a B+, A-. I mean, they really dropped some games they probably should have won, and then there were some games you were like, "What was that?" But obviously clear improvement there, too.
I
think both teams are clear improvement.
Yeah, I think you and I are exactly on the same page. I think I'd give the two programs the exact same grades. I think both are improved. I think the women show maybe a little more improvement at this point. Kelly, your thoughts?
But a subgrade on the men. Overall body of work, B-. But their body of work without Tavares, I think you'd have to bump him up to like a B+, because he was the guy, right? He was the stud. And with him going down, there have been some guys, Brumfield has stepped up, the bigger Binet has played well. So overall body of work, B-, but their performance without their leader,
I think that's fair.
B+.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah. And you're shooting to get in, what is it, the top 6?
I think so. I think that top 6 is where you want to be at. Like I said, the women are 5th. A win tonight would put them in 3rd place, so that would be really good. The men are still – it actually doesn't even list them in the standings, so I don't know what's going on with that. But, okay, so they're 4th.
Yeah, and they've already won 2 on the road, now albeit Louisiana and Louisiana Monroe. But anytime you get those little notches on your belt on the road, that's big. That's big.
But again, I mean, if they were to split these next 2 games, if they were to win 1 and lose 1, I mean, they'd be sitting there at 6-4.
Yeah.
Before coming back home,
which is not bad.
Yeah, you're not mad about that. Now, it'd be great to be 7-3. If they could win the next 2 games.
Yeah, so I think we all agree there's some improvement.
The record that matters is that one record for 1 week in March down in Pensacola.
and we've seen in the past, in Southern Miss men's especially is one of those teams where it's like, this is a team that could catch fire late. You can see the makings of that, especially if they were to get Tavares back.
Yes.
Right? And so if they could stay in position to put themselves in position to catch that fire late, they could do that.
Okay. All right, still to come on the show, we're going to hear from Tucker Stockman on the other side of the break. Going to be a big-time player, I think, this year for the Golden Eagles. This segment was sponsored by Eagle Tire West, and all those great guys down there invite you to come see them. They're on Highway 98 West next to Smith Motor Company. They sell premium Goodyear products, full-service auto and truck service, family-operated since 1985. Eagle Tire and Eagle Tire West, Goodyear tires, full service, big Southern Miss supporters, as are the good folks at MCS Home Center. And that's where you'll find everything you need for home repair, home remodeling, home construction, absolutely everything for your home, your lawn, or your garden. MCS is Hattiesburg's new improvement home center. Local folks eager to serve you there on Highway 98 West. And you send Ernesto?
Oh, yeah, that's
Do you send Ernesto down there?
Ernesto, he gets all of his stuff there.
Does he really?
And I think he pays for it. I hope he.
You don't pay for it.
I hope
you take that out of Ernesto's money.
That's right. He's do less pesos if he, it has to match up.
You got another pair of glasses today. That's the 3rd pair this week.
Let me see these.
Trying to be fashionable, change up the colors.
What are those?
Those are purple.
You're back to the women's glasses again.
They
Santa.
are not women's glasses.
You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour. The Eagle Hour. Southern Miss to the top.
All right, welcome back, everybody. D-Bat sponsors the 3rd segment of the Eagle Hour every day. You know all about it. It's down on Hardy Street. State-of-the-art baseball, softball, and adult sport training facility with gorgeous equipment inside. Beautiful facility. Nice pro shop. Everything you need. We're lucky to have D-Bat here. And Forest Health, we want to remind you that keeping up with your favorite team is fun, but don't forget about the most important player, you. Be sure you get an annual physical, stay in close touch with your doctor, and be sure your health can be as good as it can. Forest Health can help you that with expert medical care closer to home. Very fortunate to have Forest Health in the Hattiesburg community. All right, one area of Southern Miss baseball that I personally think will be improved this year with depth will be catcher. Talked to Tucker Stockman earlier this week. And Dima, what role do you see Tucker playing? I think, a major role in the success of the team.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely one of the most improved players last season. Everybody remembers that he had that base hit against Alabama in the regional to take the lead there in the bottom of the 8th. 6 homers. You know, he was really a pull homer guy when he came here to Southern Miss. You know, he would pull those swings to left field a lot. I talked to him at Media Day, or one of my colleagues did, and he talked a lot about him being patient at the plate. And with his power, I think you're going to see a lot more backside home runs this year for him. 6 home run guy this year. I think they're wanting him to be like 11, 13 this season. Back behind the plate, of course, he's going to more than likely start behind there. They'll have Lawson Odom behind there as well. But yeah, Tucker Stockman should be one of the more improved offensive players from a season ago.
Here he is. All right, Tucker Stockman on the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. Tucker, I don't think anybody came on more in the last half of the year last year than you did, both at the plate and behind the plate. Your expectations for this year have to be very high.
Well, yes, sir. I mean, thank you for that. Yeah, definitely high expectations, but just trust the process and trust the work and just keep getting after it same way we did last year.
Tucker, no more physical position on the field than the position you play. How difficult and how taxing physically is that to go through an entire season behind the plate?
Well, I mean, it is tough, but you kind of get used to it. I've been catching pretty much my whole life. My dad was a catcher, and so I always dreamt of being a catcher at the next level and just kind of kept moving up, kept catching, and really, my body is more so used to it. Definitely much more now than I was when I was younger, and it just kind of keeps getting better every year.
In a lot of ways, you carried most of the load last year, but other people now Odom has another year under his belt. I think there's some new signees. You look for more depth and perhaps more help this year with some of your other teammates that give you rest when you need it?
Well, yes, sir. I mean, obviously, I want to. My dream is to play every single game, be in the lineup every game, and I know that I can do it. But also, like, all of us catchers, we work together every day. We work our butts off every single day to all compete against each other, of course, but also be able to help the team win in whatever way we can. And so whatever it takes to help the team be as successful as we can be in whatever way we can do it.
All right, you're going to be one of the old guys on the team. You're going to be one of the leaders, the ones that younger players look up to. What will be your message for younger players that are maybe just coming into this program, or players that maybe were here last year but don't have the background you have yet?
Well, first off, just enjoy the process. I mean, it's awesome. It's truly an amazing place being here in Hattiesburg at the Pete, with the fan base that we have and the coaching staff and the chemistry, camaraderie, tradition, just all the things. Everything is just amazing. It's been an incredible time for me. And so my message, first off, to the young guys, new guys, whatever it may be, is just to enjoy it. Man, don't let any day just sneak by without you taking advantage of all of the blessings that we have. But then also just work as hard as you can, do as much as you can to be the best player you can be to help our team win, because like it says in the locker room, it's not about you, it's about us. This is a team sport that's very individualized, but we're all working towards the same goal, and if all 42 of us are working as hard as we can towards the same goal, I'm going to like where we're at the end of the year.
What has this journey meant to you personally?
Man, it's been everything. I've grown in so many ways throughout. This is my 4th year now, and I have truly grown in so many ways, physically, mentally, emotionally, and it's been amazing, my time here at Southern Miss, and I can't thank my coaching staff, the guys who did it before me, just fan base, just everything has been amazing. It's truly meant everything to me.
All right. We both know this is a rabid, crazy fan base. What's your message to them? What do you think they can expect to see out of this year's edition of the Golden Eagles?
I mean, first off, we're going to come out. This team is a very talented team, and obviously we haven't played a game against anybody else yet, but we're going to come out and we're going to compete like we always do, and put a team on the field that's going to compete with the best teams in the country, and that's just what we do. We're going to be gritty. We're going to be blue collar. We're going to come out and play as hard as we can for all 9 innings of every game and give you everything we got, no matter what it takes.
All right, final question. A rough start. You play some big-time teams here early on, but something tells me you guys embrace that challenge.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's exactly what the coaches do. Coach Oz, everybody who puts the schedule together. I don't really know what all goes into it, but they do an amazing job every year with our non-conference schedule, those first 4 weekends, and this year they did another amazing job, and so we embrace it. We love it. I mean, it's just preparing us for all the roads ahead and everything that could happen, and seeing some of those big-time arms that we're going to see and big-time bats that we're going to face. It's amazing for us, and it really prepares us for the roads ahead and the season ahead.
Well, we're glad you're here. I know everybody is, and we wish you nothing but the best your last year here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, that's Tucker Stockman. On tomorrow's show, we're gonna visit with Colby Allen, who we anticipate will be the Friday night starter. Also, Michael Avalon, who is the head baseball coach at Pearl River Community College, is going to join us. And Dima, you believe there's a kid pitching for Pearl River that is committed here. Am I correct?
Yeah, well, he's on the roster.
Okay, that you think could step right in and replace Colby Allen when he graduates.
Yeah, Camden Clark coming over from Pearl River Community College. Obviously, last season, Pearl River was 1 game away from winning a national championship. Lost in the championship round. He signed with Southern Miss. Yeah, 3.20 ERA, 59 innings pitched, 6-3 over the year, 76 strikeouts, and a 1.20 WHIP. So, and they want him to come in and really fill that void that they're not losing, but they're moving Colby Allen, of course, into the starting role. And I think they really want a Camden Clark kind of guy to be that, piece for them. Now, whether or not he's going to be or not.
Relief pitcher,
right. And so whether or not he will be or not is up for debate. Another player that they want to be like that is Josh Ock, and get him in there and be one of their closers. So this pitching staff will be significantly deep, so it's not like if Camden Clark doesn't work out, they don't have anybody else. Like, there's so many pitchers on this staff this year that will hopefully fill that void that they're not necessarily losing, because they still have Colby Allen, but they're losing a big, there's 2 innings left. Oh, put Colby, we'll be fine.
And Camden Clark will be reunited with Thomas Crabtree, who was at Pearl River, but then signed with Tennessee and has now come back to Southern Miss. So you'll have 2 PRC guys there. And Pearl River, you talk to other coaches in the MAC that Pearl River plays in, they'll tell you, they'll go 1 through 7, we can match up with Pearl River. 8 and 9, we probably can't. But where Pearl River wins everything is they go 12 to 14 deep, quality pitchers. And he said the other teams maybe have, 5 or 6. And it's just...
no, that's the key in every level of baseball.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
If you're having to piece together a starting rotation right now, and if you asked me that question, I would say Colby Allen on Friday night, Graydon Harris on Saturday, McCarty English as the Sunday guy, and then either Sundstrom or Crabtree for the midweek.
Well, if English can get back to where he was, that'll be a massive step forward. Yeah. And I did overhear Oz say the other day that he looks really good.
Yeah, and I talked to him at Media Day, and he was, really excited to get back out there. And, he feels great. Nothing hurts. Nothing's in his arm. No screws in his arm. Nothing like that. He feels really good, and hopefully he'll be a big piece to that pin this year.
All right, we'll talk to Coach Avalon tomorrow, as well as Colby Allen. And what are we, a little over 2 weeks away? Is that right? 3 weeks
Your
away?
paper chain is getting shorter and shorter, Bob.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. Man, time goes by too fast, Kelly.
It does, and the older you get, the faster it goes.
Dima's going to learn that, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right, we'll be right back.
Big news from Robinson Electric Supply in Laurel. We've moved. You'll now find us directly behind our old building, right by Sawmill Animal Hospital. We're still your trusted electrical distributor, carrying everything from conduit to tape. And don't forget our full line of Milwaukee tools. Whether you're a contractor or a DIY pro, stop by the new Robinson Electric Supply at 1222 West 6th Street and see what's lighting up Laurel. Robinson Electric Supply. New location, same trusted service.
Southern Miss to the top. To the top. You're tuned in to the Eagle Hour.
4th Street Bar and Grill sponsors the 4th segment. See, I learned that at the Leering Center I used to attend, Kelly.
The Leering Center in Minneapolis,
up in Minnesota.
Yeah.
I was a star student at the Leering Center.
Gotcha.
You can probably tell, right?
Yes. In fact, well, you can read Leering. That's good.
4th Street Bar and Grill. You get some good food there this weekend. Catch all the ball games. I bet you basketball games on 5 o'clock this afternoon. If I were a betting man, I would bet that. Also, I want to say hello to our good friends at Mo Baby Beignet Company and Genesis of Hattiesburg. We appreciate all of our sponsors, and the ones you hear throughout the broadcast, they're the ones that make it possible as well. We thank them for that. SuperTalk Eagle Hour podcast. Well, you can tell Alexa or Siri to play it for you, or you can just go to Apple, Audible, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn, or YouTube. All right, last segment is news and notes, and that's why we have Kelly Sander.
Dima, you want me to? Bob, don't listen to this. Do you want me to push Bob's button here, Dima?
Sure.
Okay. The Mississippi legislature has come out with a proposal that would allow high school athletes to enter into NIL deals with potential suitors at the college level.
Is that a Kelnack joke?
Hasn't been passed. Other states are doing the same thing. A lot of other states are doing the same thing, which we asked at one time, how soon would it trickle down to the high schools? And it looks like it's sooner rather than later.
Well, can we get this guy on the show?
I think Bob has a blood vessel in his neck that's about to burst.
Can anybody tell me they think that's a good idea? Here, 2 questions come to my mind.
Here we go.
Yeah, I told you.
How smart is it to put money in the pocket of a 16, 17-year-old kid that may or may not have parental influence in their life? That would be question number 1. Question number 2, I thought you went to a school based on where you lived. I didn't think you could start buying kids and moving them to another public school district to put them in a football team and give them whatever $50,000 so you can beat Podunk U High School. I mean, who the hell thinks this is a good idea?
Well, one of the things also before the legislature is that
school choice.
The school choice,
yeah.
But
right?
that is probably a good idea.
Okay,
that parents can put their children in a good school system if they choose. But are we actually going to make it possible for high schools to start buying athletes from other schools? And are we really going to do that?
And I'm not saying like the school choices are. I'm not saying that they should or they shouldn't. I'm just saying if they allow that, there is the logical next step. They're not going for the money. They're going to get what they perceive to be a better education. So
who? The high school football players?
Yes. Yeah. Now it could be any sport, Bob, not just.
How about it, Dima? What's your thought?
Dima was homeschooled. What does he know about anything?
Yeah. I don't know.
Dima, do you think it's a good idea to start paying high school kids to play sports?
Of course not. But I think there's a way to do it where it would make, it wouldn't be, I guess, that blunt, if you will, where it's like just giving them money. But if you could put it in some kind of savings fund or something, I don't know. There's going to be some kind of regulation to it
because they're not adults,
right? So
legally they're not adults.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But it's just
Kelly. When your children were 15, 16 years old, would you have given one of them $10,000 or $20,000?
No, in fact, I structured a lot of had God called me home earlier than I wanted, I had things structured so they would get a little bit of money at different ages in their lives.
That's been a responsible parent.
So they wouldn't put it all on 24 red down at the Beau Rivage.
24 red. Always go with black.
Well, see what I mean?
No, I think that's a horrible idea. But I would love for you to get the guy on the show.
Oh, and knowing how you feel about it, I'm sure he'll run to you with open arms, Bob.
Just ask him questions. I'm sure if he's proud of his legislation, he is willing to defend it.
Yeah, for sure. But
wouldn't that be a legitimate conversation?
I told you I'd push his button, Dima. Luckily, it's the last segment, and we don't have any more. A lot.
Three
We
weeks.
probably don't have any more segments ever.
3 weeks to baseball. I'm focusing on the positive.
But I mean, you knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Yeah,
Some other states have already done it.
Yes.
Though, in all seriousness.
That's right. That's right.
Wait a minute. It can't be that much money, though. You know, like there's
Surely not.
It can't be anything over than $20,000, which is still ridiculous.
But you know,
a couple bucks.
And
Come
I can't cite specific examples, but I would imagine it would not be hard to believe that a lot of the private schools, because they are private, have been allowed to do whatever they want to do for years, as far as structuring tuition for private kids to come from public schools to the private.
I can just tell you for a fact that does happen.
Yes.
I saw that happen in Greenville at the high school. I did their play-by-play for years, a parochial school, and they would
take care of the tuition, or
they would take care of
would
tuition.
that be more of the NIL thing, like the revenue sharing would be more like free tuition? I guess. I mean, that's just it's just crazy to me to just like hand a check to
a kid. Come on, man. Nobody can think that's a good idea.
That's just so bad.
And I'm sure there would be
I'm sure they spend it wisely, right, Dima?
I'm sure there would be bullet points under the rule that the money would.
They come home with like 8 Xboxes. Where'd you get all this money?
I'm sure. I'm sure the money would have to be held in escrow or something to that
let's
effect.
get the guy here.
We'll work on it.
Let's bring him here. Do you know who did it?
We'll work on it. We'll get our crack staff on it.
The SuperTalk investigative team.
Our hash staff.
Yes, we will. Our half staff.
Hash.
All right, Michael Avalon on the show tomorrow, along with Colby Allen and me and Dima. So we hope you'll join us. Kelly will be out, but be back with us Monday. Thank you for listening. Southern Miss.
To the top.
Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping into the future. I wanna fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle, let my spirit carry me. I want to fly like an eagle till I'm free. I go through the revolution.
A SuperTalk Mississippi media production.